A long time ago, songs had rare and extraordinary powers. By singing these songs, people could cure their diseases, cleanse the world, fly the skies and tell their love to all. People believed that songs were the core to the world, that they protected and led everything. They were the mother's hands, so they never stopped singing their songs. But now, things have changed. In this world, everyone has forgotten how to sing, as if they were ancient words that had been lost forever. The Prince presents Art Tonelico. This video has no spoiler, or at least not any major one. It's rather an introduction video. Even though this channel is small and I have no way of telling more people in the world about this story, I present you one of the greatest hidden gems in the world of gaming and one of my 5 favorite games of all time. Ar Tonelico explores themes of communication, emotions, and the intertwining of technology and spirituality. And in the midst of all these elements and its story, its entire core, its heart and soul are directed toward one simple thing: music, songs. In this story, songs have the power to change the world and the course of humanity. This is the world of Ar Tonelico. Developed by Gust, the same developers of the RPG series Atelier, the trilogy takes place in a world centered around massive, tower-like structures called Ar Tonelico towers. These towers are vital to the world's survival and house both humans and beings called revotaes, artificial, humanoid creatures created to interact with and control the tower's functions through song. These revotaes use song magic, a special power that is often represented through beautifully composed music tracks. Revotaes are symbiotically linked to humans, often requiring strong emotional bonds with their partners, which are called guardians, to reach their full potential. The towers were created by ancient civilizations and serve as both living spaces and a source of power. The story takes place on the planet Ciel, a world that became 99% uninhabitable after a great catastrophe caused by humanity itself centuries ago. The humans who once lived on the surface were annihilated, leaving only those who had already been living in the 3 towers in the sky. Today, the surface is known as the Sea of Death, a vast expanse of toxic clouds where anyone who falls is never seen again. Above it, the atmosphere is sealed by the blast line, a plasma layer that makes escape impossible. Humanity now survives on the brink, confined to a few remaining safe areas as it struggles to sustain its existence. And each of the 3 games will have its own story in a different tower, with a different cast and protagonist. In my opinion, Ar Tonelico 1 is a game that introduces the setting of the trilogy, and I believe it does a good job of it. The true masterpiece of this universe is its second game, where it executes everything with great mastery, and its third game is extremely controversial and has received negative views, many of them. I myself have never played it, so Ar Tonelico, I will tell you to just play the first 2 games and wait for one day, who knows. Dreaming doesn't hurt. A remake polishing the entire trilogy and giving that special care to the 3rd game. With that said, let's introduce the story first. The first game is set in Ciel, a massive tower that stretches into the heavens. The people of Ciel live in the regions around and inside the tower. The tower serves as a hub of life and technology, governed by its controlling systems and reliant on revotaes for its stability. Ciel is a place of rigid order and tradition, where the Church of Lemia holds sway, and the lives of its revotaes are closely controlled and used to maintain the delicate balance of the tower's environment. The journey begins and we follow Liner Bazet, a knight of Elimia Church. A sudden attack by mysterious monsters called viruses throws the tower into chaos, and Liner is sent on a mission to retrieve an artifact known as Crystal, the only thing capable of saving the tower. On his journey, Liner encounters three central rivetails: Aurica Nestmile, a shy and insecure rivetail who struggles to find her place in the world; Misha Arselek Lune, Liner's childhood friend and a pure-blood rivetail with a mysterious past; and Shurelia, the administrator of the tower, burdened by centuries of responsibility and loneliness. As Liner ventures deeper into his journey, the world of Ar Tonelico reveals itself as a place full of mystery and wonder. The intricate design of the towers, with the hiding layers of ancient technology and forgotten civilizations, paints a picture of a world struggling to reclaim its past while surviving its present. The second game takes place in Metafalls, the region surrounding the second Ar Tonelico tower. Unlike Ciel, Metafalls is in a state of environmental collapse. Resources are scarce, and the people are desperate. The once fertile soil has become a wasteland, and crops cannot thrive. Without a stable environment, people are left in a constant state of starvation and suffering. To solve these problems, the people decided to create a utopia, known as Metafalls, which is a process that can transform barren land into fertile terrain using song magic. Metafalls is plagued by IPDs, dangerous conditions that affect rivetails who are essential to the tower's survival. The disease is caused by the destruction of Metafalls 400 years ago during a certain war, leaving it half destroyed. However, Metafalls isn't just a tower power source. It's an integral part of Rivetail's emotional and mental state. It's very important. Rivetails draw upon their emotions and connection to Metafalls to perform their duties. It's like internet, and using their inner feelings as fuel for the magical powers they use. It's like the internet isn't working anymore. Disruption led to mind pollution, causing Rivetails to gradually lose control over their powers. The infection is classified into levels 1 through 9, with higher levels making the Rivetails more destructive. As the emotional strain and connection to the broke Metafalls worsen, the Rivetails descend into madness, causing chaos and destruction. With each new outbreak, Metafalls spirals deeper into crisis, and the hope for survival grows ever more uncertain. The story of the second tower begins in the midst of a conflict between knights and a Rivetail. The story follows Croix Bartel, a young knight of the Grand Bell, the ruling organization of Metafalls. Croix becomes involved in a conflict between Cloche Lethal Pastalia, the holy maiden who seeks to use Metafalls to save the land, and Luca Truliwoth, Croix's childhood friend who has her own motives tied to Metafalls. The player, after a few hours of gameplay, will have to make his own decision between these two characters. Which one do you think is morally and philosophically correct? And your decision will have an impact on the game. It will be a choice that you have to make. This choice is something very striking in this game, because it goes beyond choosing the character you like the most. It makes you reflect on moral issues, on what you, the player, believe is right or wrong. Now that we know the synopsis of the story, we are ready to understand the world of Ar Tonelico, its creators, and how special music is to this story. One of the most distinctive elements of the Ar Tonelico series is the concept of the towers. These massive structures aren't just physical buildings, but are also metaphysical manifestations of human emotions, dreams, and desires. Song is a form of communication that transcends words. Towers are connected to the game's central theme, the exploration of the human mind and spirit. One part of Ar Tonelico's gameplay allows you to enter the minds of the revelators. With that, we discover new abilities and confront emotional obstacles that reflect the struggles and desires of the people who created these towers. Inside the minds of the characters, we are able to see the traumas and nightmares they go through. The game's brilliant artistic approach is to use its incredible music to its advantage at every moment. Whether it's a great trauma, the music will be agonizing. If it's a feeling of freedom, the music will convey that freedom. All through the voices of the characters themselves, the mind of the characters is divided into layers. And deeper we go, the deeper we enter into what the characters truly think. This game is unlike any other I have played. The characters are not saints. They all have parts of themselves that are detestable, just like us. That's exactly what it means to be human. And that's what it truly means to love someone. Love everything about that person, including their greatest flaws. Ar Tonelico is able to show us something like this. These are very well developed characters, and the game has the courage to show you not only the worst flaws of these characters, but also where they truly shine. The imperfection, the flaws, the fears. These characters are allowed to be broken, yet they are not defined by brokenness. The game doesn't just show you the darkness within them, it highlights the potential for growth, for healing, and for redemption. There are moments of darkness, but also moments of hope, of unexpected beauty, found in the voices of the revelators as they sing their souls into the music. The music is composed by a talented team of artists: Kenji Ito, Akira Tsuchiya, Daisuke Kikuta, and Akiko Shikata. However, it's important to first recognize the genius behind the entire Ar Tonelico universe. Akira Tsuchiya is the creator and mastermind behind the Ar Tonelico series and the expansive Ex-Apico universe. He built an entire world where themes of music, emotion, and technology intertwined. Not only was he the creator of the entire story of Ar Tonelico, he's also the main director of the game and, as I mentioned, one of the composers who helped with the game's music. In other words, he's a genius. Akira Tsuchiya didn't just create the world of Ar Tonelico, he also created the Hymmnos language, a unique language specific to the game's universe. Man, he developed an entire grammar for Hymmnos, which is a language used by the revelators to channel song magic and communicate in ways that transcend the limitations of normal speech. It's a language full of details, and there is a lot of study about it. You can find a complete page on the fandom wiki about it. Hymmnos is present throughout the games, including the game's all music. Ar Tonelico uses a lot of vocals sung by the characters, and they sing in Hymmnos. It's a fascinating testament to Tsuchiya's dedications to creating an immersive world that goes beyond typical storytelling, turning language itself into a key element of the game's magic and emotional depth. And with him, there was a symphony of talents. The music of Ar Tonelico would have reached its full potential without the incredible contributions of composers, particularly Akiko Shikata. Shikata is renowned for her evocative and deeply emotional music. Her compositions, her powerful, haunting vocals, combined with orchestral elements, created songs that can live in your minds forever. Ar Tonelico musical masterpiece, perfectly well-written songs with extremely complex compositions, songs over like 10 minutes long, scary, disturbing, or beautiful and decisive. For me, Ar Tonelico has one of the best soundtracks in the history of video games. And to end this video, this game could be considered something almost like lost media, I guess. The only way to play it is through PlayStation 2. The developer Gust never released it on any other platform, which is a shame, especially considering the game sold relatively well for the time it was released. If you are interested in experiencing this hidden gem of a masterpiece, do whatever it takes, and I promise you it will be one of the best experiences ever, given how ambitious, complex and well developed this world is, with a frantic and complete story, and perhaps one day we might get a remaster or even a remake of this masterpiece, which would be more than deserved. This game is the result of brilliance and one of the richest game worlds ever created. It explores the human mind with mastery and shows us how important our relationships with the people we love are. Themes of communication, emotions, faith, trust, and personal growth, many others, are woven into this narrative. This is my love letter, a humble love letter to the world of Exapico and Ar Tonelico series, and one of the greatest recommendations I could give to anyone who loves a story-driven game as much as a character-driven one. With that, I close the curtains on the showdown. This was The Legend of Ar Tonelico.